What's up, guys? It's this week's WWTD. I'm out here on site. You can see there's the road that goes back to the street. There's where a house was. There's where another house was. And then up towards the street there, there was another house that was up there. So we had 3 houses here that had to come down, and now they're scraped, and you can kind of see the remnants of them, you know, what's left over. But what I wanted to talk about today is haters, right? Everybody's got haters. Now, we're pretty lucky in the fact that we haven't had a ton in terms of, you know, podcasts, videos, and just everything that we've done. What I want to talk about is haters in terms of your projects, right? And so we do have quite a few haters in terms of projects like this, where we have people that are ultra sensitive about us tearing down houses. You know, that's a big thing. Anytime, you know, a house gets bought, and even if you're doing a remodel on it, you know, some neighbors are real quick to call the EPA if they think that there's asbestos that's not being removed properly, if there's not lead paint that's being dealt with properly, OSHA if they feel like somebody doesn't have the proper hard hat on, or you know, maybe safety glasses. So there's all kinds of things like that, and so there's going to be haters in this business. And that's why I mentioned a long time ago, somebody listened to the podcast and they said that I dropped an F-bomb, and because I dropped an F-bomb, they weren't going to be able to listen to the show anymore. And I think I mentioned it then, and I'll mention it again now. If a single F-bomb, you know, makes you not want to listen to this show, real estate's not the business for you. Because if you actually want to do this business, you're going to get a lot of haters, and you're going to need to get thick skin. So, for example, you know, the houses that were here, see the other one that was back there, these were just first-class shit shacks. They were horrible. I inherited them when I bought the property, and the people that rented them, I didn't realize how bad they were until I went in them right before we tore them down and we got the tenants out. But they were horrible. They were god-awful terrible, and so they needed to go down. But that being said, there's a certain historical society, in quotes, that really isn't a historical society. They just want to see things that are old being preserved, whether they're historic or not. And they're hating on us for doing this, as well as a number of other houses that we've taken down that were in similar condition. And so, you know, the point is that, you know, there's a lot of people out there that just, they don't like change. They don't like redevelopment, and they definitely don't like capitalism. And so if you embody all of those things, they're going to hate you, pretty much. So you're going to get haters no matter what, whether you're on the guru side or whether you're actually doing this business every day. It's the reality of it. And so at this point in my career, I really don't care. It doesn't bother me. You know, we had one of these historical societies put a picture of one of the houses that we were tearing down up on their Facebook page, and they all ranted about how I was destroying the fabric of Lake Oswego and this and that. And it's, you know, none of these people had ever even been in the house. They had no idea what the condition of this house was, and they just don't recognize the fact that, you know, houses aren't meant to stand forever, and especially if there's a ton of deferred maintenance and nobody does anything to keep the house up over the years. And that happens a lot, especially here in this type of climate where it rains a ton. You know, it's really wet. People have rentals, they just don't pay attention to them, and the houses go to shit, and that's what happens. And so, you know, there's a typical lifespan of a home that it's going to at some point exceed, and then at that point a new structure probably needs to go in its place, but that lifespan can be sped up if there's a lot of deferred maintenance that's never dealt with. I mean, just for example, the city of Lake Oswego has now been it's been approved by city council that they're going to build a new city hall for themselves, where basically the planning department, the police department, all those places can operate. They currently are in a building that's only 30 years old, and because they didn't take care of a 30-year-old building, now they're lobbying for taxpayer money to build a brand new building for themselves because of all the deferred maintenance that happened on a building that's just 30 years old. I mean, if we were tearing down houses that were 30 years old, we'd be tearing down houses that were built in 1987. We don't tear down houses that were built in 1987. We tear down houses like these that were built in like the 50s. So, you know, or even the 40s or both before. So there comes a point where houses, they just got to go. And so people are going to hate on that. A lot of people just don't understand that. They've never been in this game. They've never done a rehab. They've never done any sort of construction. So they have their ideals of what they think this world should be. And then there's real life. And there's the practical application of, you know, providing housing for people and providing good, solid, and new housing where it's called for. So point is, you know, you do this business, you got to have thick skin. You're going to have haters. There's going to be people that don't like what you're doing. It's just the reality of it. You can't please everybody. So know that going in, know that, you know, going into your project, especially when you're doing projects like this, you know, where we're tearing down houses. You can see back there where that third house was. You're just going to get people that don't like it. And there's nothing that you can do to satisfy them. They're just gonna dislike what it is that you're about and what you're doing, and that's okay. You know, that's all right. That's just the way it goes, but you gotta have thick skin about it. So this week's show, all about haters. Have thick skin. It's just the reality of the world we live in today. Everybody's got to complain about something, and when you're in the redevelopment game, you've got a big bullseye on your back for people to complain about you. So know it, accept it, deal with it, and do what we do. That's this week's WWTD. As I always say, I may not walk on water, but I do walk on my own job sites. See you guys next week.